Hey guys, Anime Core 5 here, and let's get into the whole talking about Final Fantasy 16 because there was a trailer for it that was literally shown at what was it, State of Play? Yeah. And now I understand some people are gonna totally, argue with me and saying that, oh no, Final Fantasy 16 looks amazing. I do not approve. I From what I saw from the trailer, now I understand, it's not the official actual gameplay. They could always change the gameplay into, adding more characters that fight alongside you, or they could just leave how it is. But there were a couple things that really stood out to me from the trailer, from the State of Play trailer. Mostly like the summons, which it was pretty cool seeing Ifrit and Shiva and Bahamut Zero. I think that was actually pretty cool. But other than that, like I kind of felt like when I was looking through the whole entire trailer, through the whole entire trailer, I felt like I didn't actually I don't know. To me honestly, it felt like Square Enix was going with like something with like when I was looking at the gameplay where it had like the two bars like on both sides left and right. It kind of felt like, okay, wait a minute. Are you guys like taking some influence from Street Fighter or something and then just influencing putting your own spin off on it, because that to me just felt really off. And honestly, I I've played a lot of the Final Fantasy games in the past, and pretty much like the only good one, well, the only ones in my book that are really good are Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 10. Okay, the original Final Fantasy 7, the one from the 1990s, and the one that came out, what was it, like 2007 or 2000 something, which was Final Fantasy 10, which was during the PlayStation 2 era. Those were the better days of Final Fantasy, because the thing is, I liked the gameplay in those compared to what I saw in this trailer. This trailer just it did not really quite meet my expectations. I was kind of like, yeah, this looks mediocre, and I don't know why, but this does not feel like a Final Fantasy game at all. Like, in general, it does not feel like a Final Fantasy game at all. Now, I after the State of Play, I went over to Young Ya's YouTube channel, which he's also another creator, although he has much more bigger following. And he said, "Oh yeah, that Final Fantasy, he said like Final Fantasy 16 looks pretty cool." And he gave like the state and he has, and I think like most of his followers gave the State of Play like a 6 out of 10 or something, or a 5 out of 5 or whatever. But honestly, to me, there wasn't really anything that was really caught my attention except for Eternal Nights. That to me was pretty cool, and I already have it on my wish list for Steam, so I already have that on my Steam thing. But Final Fantasy 16 looks very, very, no. I got the feeling it's gonna it's gonna be a little bit underwhelming of a game once it comes out. And I know I'm just basing this off of a trailer, but still, I that's the thing, that's why I feel like these days I can't really trust any game that comes out of Square Enix, because a lot of them are just, I don't know. I tried getting into Final Fantasy 14. I couldn't. The first time I actually played it, Final Fantasy 14 was pretty cool. But then, like, once I tried coming back to it, apparently, like, my key code wouldn't even actually work at all, so I couldn't gain access to any of my characters or anything like that. So I was like, okay, yeah, at this point, I'm just not gonna bother with Final Fantasy 14. And then I know I played Final Fantasy 15. That game, okay, that one was okay. It wasn't like amazing by any mere standards, but I kind of really wish it kind of felt like the whole entire thing was open, but I kind of felt like there could have been, like, I don't know, like more people to interact with, and you had more of a party, not just with just all guys. And plus, there were not really like a lot of female NPCs in the game. That to me was what stood out to me in Final Fantasy 15. But Final Fantasy 10, now that one was really good, especially like with when you had like Lulu with big boobs, and you had Yuna, who's really really cool. She kind of reminds me of a friend I once knew, and but yeah, she was pretty cool. And I did actually love the summons in Final Fantasy X. Like the ability to like literally summon up Anima. Oh my god, Anima. Oh my god, that was like pretty much like the most coolest, baddest. That was like the most coolest and badass type of creature you could ever summon in a Final Fantasy game. That was actually pretty cool. Now, I know that there was Bahamut, but they could also like put like Knights of the Round. Oh my god. Yeah, Knights of the Round was also a really cool awesome summon from Final Fantasy VII. Oh my god. I loved Knights of the Round. Like, considering that he would like there'd be like 12 knights like doing like 12 different slashes, and you could do like up to like 9,999 damage per slice. That was even cooler. And even combining that with Ultima, which was an awesome magic you could also do in Final Fantasy VII. Now that was awesome. But yeah, the gameplay overall for what I saw from Final Fantasy 16 is going to be very underwhelming. I mean, honestly, when I look at like a game like Tales of Berseria, the gameplay in Tales of Berseria is a lot better compared to Final Fantasy 16. Even if you go back to like Final Fantasy X, the gameplay is much better than that. Same thing with 7, and maybe same thing with 8, and any of the other like the older Final Fantasy games. Minus 15, okay? Minus 15. And I don't know about honestly, I think I played like a little bit about 12, but I know that's a little bit different as well, but still, I think like the days from the first Final Fantasy to Final Fantasy X, those were the really good days of Final Fantasy. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much about it. So feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. I understand I did hit some good points. You know, I know some people are going to argue with me, and they're probably going to say, like, oh, no, Final Fantasy VII Remake is a lot better than Final Fantasy VII. Oh yeah, then how come Square Enix didn't finish the whole entire game for Final Fantasy VII Remake? Answer that question. Where's your part 2 and part 3? Oh wait a minute, I forgot. You guys don't have a part 2 and part 3, huh? Well, I suppose you could always just go back and play Final Fantasy VII, the original, because that game's a full complete thing. And I don't know. I don't think Square Enix will ever go and ever complete Final Fantasy VII Remake. Why? Because that's just the way how they are. You know, the olden days of when Square Enix was a thing was before they were actually Square Enix. They were called Squaresoft back in the day. For those who don't remember. Back in those days, there were some really great, really incredible games that you could play. Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy III, Final Fantasy 6 and 7, plus 8, all the way up to 10. Oh, and I also remember, what was it, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot. They never re-released it to the masses. They never brought it to be an actual game you can actually download to play. Why? Because, I don't know, Square Enix is really weird that way. And plus, not to mention that you can only play that on the PSP Vita. I mean, on PSP. Why did I say PSP Vita? I don't know why I said Vita. But yes, you would have to get yourself the PSP. But alas, it's actually hard to get a PSP. Wait, you could try a PSP emulator. That's a thing. Oh, wait, yes. One could actually try playing Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core on the PSP. But you could also just watch a full entire movie thing over on YouTube, because Final Fantasy Crisis Core is, it's a fully available movie you could actually watch. Yes, it's about 3 hours, but it's about 3 to 4 hours, but alas, you could at least watch it so you can understand the story better. Wait, Final Fantasy VII Remake never actually had a Crisis Core, did it? Oh wait, that's right, no it didn't. Where's that one? Where's Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Remake? Oh, wait. Square Enix hasn't done such a thing. And yes, and obviously, I do not care much for Final Fantasy VII Remake. You people who like Final Fantasy VII Remake, hey, if you would like that, go ahead. Go ahead and be a big supporter for your beloved Square Enix, because your Square Enix is no better than what my Squaresoft was back in the day. And there you go. But yes, if you like everything that you saw here, definitely click the like button, hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you can stay updated with everything that you see here, and be sure to come back for more incredible, awesome videos such as Let's Plays, game rants, anime rants, game reviews. I meant anime reviews and anime recommendations and so on and so forth. Alright? Follow me over on, you can follow me on Discord. I do have a Discord link in the description, so check that out. If for some reason you can't seem to gain access to Discord, just definitely leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I will give you guys a new link to the Discord server. Alright? And you can also follow me on Facebook as well, alright? With that, I will end things off here. This is Anime Core 85, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.